guess the snow really is all gone already. As well, just passing by that area today, you notice it's completely changed because they're knocking down all the trees. They took away a statue, which makes me think again of that point. You never know. Things could change just like that in an instant, and that's it. You won't have, I guess, that scenery anymore. So it's always good, I guess, just to keep an archive of various captures and stuff that you've taken. And what's going on today? I guess it seems like there was a missing man where people were trying to find him, but it wasn't until the police brought out their thermal drone. It's kind of interesting because they actually had video clips and all that too. This one says, a vulnerable missing man was found in a cold and dark field and given the help needed, thanks to the intervention of a high-tech police drone and its pilot. Now, fortunately, it ended in a good story where the person was found and he was brought to the hospital and all that, I guess, for treatment to make sure nothing is wrong. But I guess it's just seeing the footage itself and the situation was kind of interesting because it looked like they were in a huge field with a bunch of animals as well. And with that, they were still able to, I guess, pinpoint where the person was. It says, after a thorough aerial search conducted in darkness, the man was spotted on the edge of a field and officers led towards him. The man was taken to hospital for treatment but was not seriously harmed. PC Vince Saunders, chief drone pilot at Nottinghamshire Police, said, it was freezing cold last night and we had reason to believe this man may be seriously unwell. The officers on the ground only had a vague idea of where he may be, but had no hope of finding him with a traditional ground search in those conditions. Using the drone's thermal imaging camera, the pilot was able to identify the man on the edge of a field. On this occasion, the search was complicated by the sheer number of heat signals given off by a flock of sheep in the same field, but he was soon found and given the support he needed. It's kind of interesting too, where they have this little quote here saying, as police officers, we're not just here to arrest and punish people, we are also here to help people in their most vulnerable moments when they need our help. I guess releasing videos like these too shows, as they say, not everyone's there just to abuse their powers, police brutality. That's usually what you read on the news and so forth. There are police officers and stuff doing good for the world as well. Like everything, there are people who use, I guess, their power or tools for good or bad. And I guess with that in mind, it was kind of fascinating reading this one. YouTube does have an issue where companies abuse things like copyright and stuff to shut people down, but how about this one? Where apparently there was a person who created content based on anime, which is like Japanese animations with things like Dragon Ball and stuff like that. And apparently the company who owns, I guess you could say, the copyright decided to take down or block his content 150 times. Like this one here says, over 150 videos gone. My response to toy animation and YouTube. So obviously that's his passion, just talking about things like anime and so forth, reviewing it. And the funny thing was he was expressing that the company, the toy, actually approached him as well before to do some kind of promotion. So it's kind of funny how this happens all of a sudden, huh? Now, one of his concerns was how what he's doing is perfectly fair use, and he's arguing there's mainstream, I guess, personalities like Stephen Colbert, that's what he was saying, used like anime material as well, and they never attacked him like on YouTube. But this person gets 150, I guess, copyright notices. So unfortunately, in this situation, with 150 videos, he has to manually, I guess, counter all of them. And the unfortunate thing is, whoever made the claim actually has all the power because, as I mentioned before, if you guys remember with situations like that T-Series making those bogus claims on me, they have basically the ability to say, nope, we don't agree with this, our copyright stands. And YouTube just has to say, okay, well, that's what they said. Or afterwards, you have to take it to the next step, which is essentially issuing the counterclaim where YouTube is saying, okay, you guys are gonna have to take them to court now, for example. If you do, you have about 14 days or so. Now, if they don't, then they'll reinstate the video. Now, that's what he did, and apparently the videos that he did that for are reinstated, but because there's 150 videos, according to him, you can't just mass, I guess, say, all these are irrelevant for this. You have to do it one at a time, and until that one is solved, you can't go to the next one. So he's saying it will take years to actually finish through this whole list, which is completely ridiculous. And since he actually relies on this as a business, like he hires employees and stuff in terms of creating the videos, it's really hurting his livelihood financially. Kind of shows you how many trials and tribulations there are logistically for people like here just to create what they want to create. And many people, they just actually aren't aware of it. Now, I know for sure you'd have to be aware of it if you were like YouTube, for example, to know there is an issue. Now, whether or not they'll fix it, who knows? Doesn't seem like it. Again, kind of like what the guy says, just kind of weird how they focus on things like the dislike button and all that. Actually, in terms of creating videos, I thought this would be kind of interesting because yesterday I was spending some time just writing ideas and so forth in terms of a potential year-end video. And one thing I was thinking about is a topic is perception. Does anyone want to actually write down in the comments what they think my channel is about, like why I create videos, for example, or the theme? So try to write it, I guess, in a quote elevator pitch style. If someone just asked you, hey, what's this guy about? Like, what would you say quickly? And with that, I'll compare it with what obviously I know it to be since I'm the one actually creating it. I just know depending on when, for example, like a person actually started watching, they kind of have like a different perception. So I think it'll be kind of interesting in that perspective. So if you want, just write down again like a quote elevator pitch, what you think I'm about, for example, in terms of the videos and all that. And this will also help with my thoughts of how I can do something different artistically, so to speak. Alright, see you guys later.